Hi friends, so I've not been here in a minute, so wait, let me just put on lipstick. So Goodreads cleanup is, so I plan to finish it in February, but I wasn't able to do it, but I'm gonna continue with it. So actually I only have one book left, and that is Project Hail Mary. So I'll be talking about that in the very last Goodreads cleanup episode. But for this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 books that I read. So the first one is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and second one is Picture of Dorian Gray and Alice in Wonderland. Okay, so Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, I already kept it in my high shelf, so I can't be bothered getting it. You know what I love about rereading? I think it's my 3rd time rereading the first book of Harry Potter, and I can never continue on to the next book because like I'm scared when I get to that part when I'm in book 6, and then of course book 7. Like book 6 is the most devastating one, I think, for me. So anyway, I love how I notice something new each time I reread my favorite series of all time. And I know there's a lot of controversy going around with its author, and unfortunately it's just so sad that you can't freely like recommend Harry Potter anymore, because this world is really just magical. Know that a lot of us have started loving reading because of Harry Potter, and I'm sure that we are not going to allow the artist to dictate what we or how we enjoy the book. And besides, it doesn't mean that if you enjoy Harry Potter, like if you still enjoy Harry Potter, it doesn't mean that you are supporting the beliefs of the author. Actually, she's saying that she's not transphobic, but people are saying that she is. But I think her point is more on, because I think in Scotland they have laws to change like your gender. If you say that you associate or identify as a woman, then they're gonna put you in women's prisons. I think what JK is trying to say is that some of them are pretending to identify as a woman so that they can get into those women's prisons and abuse the women there. So I think that's her whole, yeah, I don't really follow the whole thing, but then I looked at this article by a trans person who understands J.K. Rowling's views. Okay, anyway, I've been digressing so much. Okay, so the next book I read is The Picture of Dorian Gray, and actually here there is a quote right at the very beginning which says, "It is the spectator and not life that art really mirrors." So I just find it really interesting that in the very first part of the book I found a very interesting, very thought-provoking quote, and I like this. I like this one too. So, "Those who find ugly meanings in beautiful things are corrupt without being charming. This is a fault." So this is like, you know, when people see good things in the internet and a lot of people criticize that, like they're seeing some negative things about a certain like video clip of a baby or someone doing good. People say that, oh, they're just doing it for the views, etc. So yeah, I kind of liked these. So anyway, Picture of Dorian Gray, very interesting premise. However, it only gets 3 stars from me, or maybe 3.5, like around that range. So I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. The reason being is, of course, I can't get into spoilers, but the premise of this story is the guy, Dorian Gray, he's beautiful, he's youthful, and he wishes that his painting will be the one that ages, and he will remain youthful and beautiful. And so this one thing happened that is cruel, okay? He's described as cruel, and the painting started to change. So not only did the painting age, but the painting also exhibited the consequences of the things that he has done. Like, for example, he drinks a lot, so then the painting started to have like a big stomach, like something like that. So it's not just the age and the wrinkles. And the very first instance of cruelty of Dorian Gray was not very apparent, or it's not so convincing to me. And also, I don't like how the women were depicted in this book. There's also this character, Lord Henry Wotton, I think his name is. He has a lot of interesting like philosophies like in the beginning, but then when you read the book, I think he's a sort of a satirical character, and that is why he's saying a lot of things that are quite cynical and ridiculous at times. He talks about things. Okay, someone's gonna ask for his opinion and he's gonna give his opinion, but then his opinion would be based on what he thinks will benefit him most in that certain situation. He is very duplicitous in his statements. And listen to this, the only way to get rid of a temptation is to yield to it. Like, it doesn't really tell you like good advice, or maybe it could be something to think about. It's right in a certain light or in certain respects, but not in every situation. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for this. Alice in Wonderland. Okay, Wonderland is like a 4-star, but Through the Looking Glass is like a 2 to 3 stars. So I'm gonna round off my rating to 3 stars. And I enjoyed this book, especially chapter 7. This is the part where I told you there was this conversation. Okay, let me just read it to you, okay? They were learning to draw, the Dormouse went on, yawning and rubbing its eyes, for it was getting very sleepy. And they drew all manner of things, everything that begins with an M. Why with an M? Said Alice. Why not? Said the March Hare. Alice was silent. And I love that. I love that. And right before that, another favorite quote of mine was when Alice sees the March Hare and the Mad Hatter having their tea party, and she sees like a whole big table, and then she like asked them if she can sit, and the March Hare said no room, no room. But then Alice said there's plenty of room, and she sat down. And then the March Hare said have some wine, and then Alice said I don't see any wine. Then March Hare said there isn't any. And then Alice said then it wasn't very civil of you to offer it. And the March Hare said, well, it wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited. And that's interesting. So ridiculous. And I said it before, like when you read it, it feels like you're on something. Mommy! Yes, baby. Okay, so anyway, that is it for this video. So this week I will be reading Project Hail Mary, and I'll be finished with my currently reading list on Goodreads, and I'm pretty happy about that. And I did not have a 5-star read in February, so I really hope that this March I get a bunch of great books. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.